Hey folks, and welcome to Tully River Quail again. Working on a little project here I thought I'd share with you guys. Building an incubator here that I can ship hatching eggs in. I'm trying to make a shipping box slash hatching egg shipping container that folks can incubate their own eggs in. I'm trying to make it affordable. So what I've done is I've got on Amazon and I bought this heater fan combo, fairly cheap. It has 4 wires coming out of it. This smaller is for the fan. The 2 heavier gauge are for the heater. This can run off of 12 volt or 110. So that gives you some opportunity to get this heater to heat up pretty big. Now I'll show you the power supply we have here in a moment, but well, let me show you now here. This is a 200 watt, I think it's a 10 amp, actually 16 amp power source. So these heaters can take up to 14 amps to get warm. So having a nice big power supply will allow me to run this off a 12 volt and also make it available so I can run it off a solar battery if I needed to, should the power go out. So if you're in a place where your power goes out a lot and you have a 110 incubator, having a 12 volt incubator might be of import. Let me show you this other little thing that comes here from Amazon. It's just basically a W1209 controller. Has a pretty long sensor, thermostat, thermometer gauge, and this one I got 4 that come in a little plastic project box. It's not really enclosed, but it's somewhat protected, so that's okay. All right, let me show you the setup here that I got going. So I built this little framework which I'm going to suspend from the lid of this box, which is going to be my little incubator. I'll show you the tray that I bent using perforated tray material, and I actually have a piece of drawer liner in there that I put in when I hatch that helps keep it clean, helps keep eggshells out of stuff. But that's suspended or folded so that there's 1 inch of space below it that I will fill up with water through a little access port that I'll have on the side of the box. And then you can see where I have this marked where I'm going to suspend on the inside this heater. Now this isn't insulated, but if you run this on a tabletop inside your living room or kitchen, it should be able to deal with the ambient temperature of 70, 68 degrees and not have too much of a problem. They do make shipping boxes that are foam that this fits right inside, so I'll probably do that where I'll be able to put 50, maybe even 100 eggs inside this box, put that in foam, and you can run it right inside there. So the power supply is going to go on the outside here, and all the electronics will be on the inside, so it'll be nice and clean. I'm going to have an on-off button right here. But let me just show you what I bent up. So I have the 2 heaters on the bottom, the fan blowing from the top through the bottom, so as the heat rises, it circulates, pushes it down. The thermostat, the temperature controller, will be set at 37.5 degrees centigrade. You can also do it in Fahrenheit if you want to, but it will basically turn the heat on whenever it gets below a certain temperature, and it'll slowly diminish the amount of energy that goes to the heater as it warms up. So it's not an on-off type thing, it's more of a PTD type heater, so it's a partial temperature sensor. It's more solid state than just an on-off light bulb, so it helps keep the temperature more regulated as opposed to on-off, on-off. Now the fan I will run constantly just to circulate the air, and I will have some vent holes up on top of the box here. But like I said, this will be riveted to the inside of the box, and then I have a little temperature gauge, humidity gauge right there that I'll put in there. And that's about it. Pretty simple. I just have to complete the wiring. This is basically a switch, right? So you put the power to it. The black or ground goes to one, power goes to the other, and then you interrupt the power to the heater only, so that whenever this turns on, it switches power to the heat. And since I have two, it'll switch power to both of them. And like I said, the most important part of this is this LED power supply here that has enough wattage to heat these little mini heaters up. They're rated for 150 watts, but some of them, I mean, it just depends on how much power you put through them. They can take up to 250 watts easy and up to 14 something amps. So they'll get plenty hot. The other thing about these fans is they're not only DC, but you can actually run the heater, these thicker wires, off of 120 volt regular plug. So you can control everything with 12 volt, but run the heating unit off of a regular plug, just plugging it right into the wall. I wanted to minimize the number of plugs that I had going into the wall. I'm trying to just keep it at one. And I have a quick disconnect here that I'm going to wire this to, so you can take the lid off, set it aside, clean everything up, and screw it back together with this little fastener. And that'll allow you to separate the unit and clean it. All right, folks, that's it. Tully River Quail, a briefcase full of eggs blues. My little shipping box, egg hatching tray, egg hatching shipping box incubator thing. So let me know what you think. Stay free.